Okay, for my shoe, I'm going to make sure that this is a control click on my shoe image. I'm going to go to save image as. I do have to make sure high top shoe. I do need to make sure that this comes in as a JPEG instead of that WEB extension. So it looks like I will be ready to go. This is what I will be customizing today in Photoshop. So does everyone have the image of this shoe saved? Okay, now we're going to fire up Photoshop. Go ahead and go to Photoshop, and we're going to start File to New this time. File to New this time. And if your shoe is horizontal, you're going to want a landscape orientation of 11 inches by 8.5 inches. So go ahead. If you your shoe is that way, you're going to do 11 inches wide, 8.5 inches tall, and we do want transparent. So 8.5 by 11, and then make sure it is transparent. If you'd like to do portrait, that's fine as well. That would just be the reverse, where it would be 8.5 inches wide and 11 inches tall. But we're going to use the landscape orientation. Super important that we use our pull down for background contents, and then navigate to transparent, and then click create. I'm gonna dock this for a second. Okay, we're going to file place embedded now on this blank layer, which we always know we've known how to do. So from here, to put my shoe on this particular document, I'm going to go File, down to Place Embedded, and then navigate to your Finder to find that shoe image that you saved. I'm going to scroll down to the H's because I did high top shoe. Select, then click Place. I'm even going to increase the size of mine a little bit. And then, of course, you can commit by hitting your check mark or enter. I'm going to zoom out, so I'm going to go to my magnifying tool on the left side and zoom out a little bit, space bar to recenter. So now in your layers panel, you should see we still have that transparent background, and then we have the shoe on top of it. This is just like we did for the composition. We're just going to do it a little different procedure today. Does anyone need assistance getting to this part?
If it's really blurry, is that okay?
Yeah, hit your return or your check mark. Do you have the bounding box around it? Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, so we are going to essentially lock this bottom layer because we're going to build on top of it. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and click that padlock to lock that shoe layer. Click that padlock to lock that shoe layer. Now what I'm going to do is make a new layer because we're going to start building on top of this. We're going to use this as our base to build our selection areas. Every single tiny part of this shoe is going to be a layer. I may have 20 layers in this particular shoe. I'm going to go in the overhead because I really want us to talk about that part. So I may have 20 layers in this shoe. This swoosh is going to be a layer. This part's going to be a layer. This part of the band, the middle of the band, the top of the band, the top of the shoe, the laces, the piece of leather coming down, the very top, that little piece, the piece in the toe, this part of the sole, this part of the sole, this part of the star, this part of the star. Okay, this little dot, those two little dots. I know this is like we're getting used to all these multiple layers. It's not difficult, it's just detail. We're taking our time to practice those detailed selections. Now, it will be up to you which selection tools that you use, but let's talk about what would be best practice. Now that I've zoomed out, I'm going to go ahead and hold down Option and zoom in a little bit. I'm going to start with the swoosh. I think that's the easiest to demonstrate. So does everyone make sure that you have your bottom layer locked? Then we've made a new layer. You can go layer, new layer. You can do Command Shift in, or you can go to the plus sign. Now what I'm going to do is you're going to toggle between all of these different selection tools. So the selection tools are the top second, third, and fourth tools on your toolbar. Now we've always done path of least resistance up to now, which has been object selection. But since we have a photograph and I have a bunch of different red tones on here, that's not going to work very well. So I'm actually going to go to the magnetic lasso. And if you click and hold on the third tool down, you'll see that magnetic lasso. And then I'm going to start. Now, you do have to guide, especially in my example, because I have tones that are similar, you have to guide the magnetic lasso by clicking. And the other most important part with a magnetic lasso is you have to end where you begin. So I'm going to click. Now see, it just, and I'm going to delete because it wasn't as strong as I needed it to be. Click, 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 click. Coming around. Look, I can delete to get rid of some anchor points that didn't go well. If you know you're getting into pixels that are similar, you'll want to, there we go. And you can see that my selection area isn't that sharp, but I'll come back. So I'm going to customize these for whatever color I would like. So I'm going to go to my foreground color, and these are going to be Lancer blue. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Lancer blue, a nice Lancer blue. I'm going to actually add this to the swatch so I can keep this blue. Okay. So the trick today, our big takeaway of a shortcut. If you have your foreground color set to what you like, you have your marching ant selection on your screen, you can do an Option delete and it will fill that selection area. That's Alt delete or Option delete. It will fill that selection area with your foreground color. And then you can Command D to get out of that and start a new layer. And we're going to just keep plugging through these different areas. Now what's also fun is that you can even fill a couple different ways. We can do that Option delete. We can go to our paint bucket tool and we can fill with even a pattern we made. Do you guys remember making the Chiefs pattern? We can make a Chiefs pattern. If you wanted to do the Burberry like a lot of these shoes, I could come to my Burberry plaid. I'll find an image, save this image, hop into Photoshop, file open super fast because I'm going to make a different pattern. I'm going to come down to, I saved it as plaid. Sometimes it takes me the longest. I have way too many files, obviously. Plaid, open. Now what I can do, remember making that pattern, we went to the rectangular marquee or some selection tool. I'm going to make a selection. And then I can go up to edit, down to define pattern. Click OK. I'll come back to my shoe. Now, let's say, for example, I wanted to make this swoosh the plaid. I could do a Command click to redo that selection. Go to my paint bucket tool. Instead of foreground, I choose pattern. Can choose the plaid. Ba-bam. Oh, oh, you know what? That's awesome actually, because it colored with the blue. That's amazing. I'm going to totally keep that because I had blue on my foreground. Then I can Command D, and I'm going to go start again to make another part of the shoe. Now I'm going to do another selection area. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute of wait time. Okay, shoe, place embedded, new layer, choose a selection tool on the top. Okay, magnetic lasso, you need to continue to guide it, especially on a photograph. If we want to get fancy, what we're going to do in 2 weeks is the pen tool, if you'd like to move forward with that. Polygonal lasso makes these nice straight edges, straight curves. Or magic wand would work if the pixels have a clear break in the color. Quick selection, you can subtract and add. Remember, when we use the quick selection tool, left-hand side, you'll want to toggle between adding and subtracting selections. Let's see how that works with the star. I'm going to go ahead and make the star next, and I'm going to use that polygonal lasso tool because I know I want it to be nice, crisp lines. Uh-huh.
So I can't really find like a good picture of the shoes that I wanted because everything was like blocked on my Safari.
Oh, really?
So I just did a screenshot. Does this work?
Yeah, it does. Just hit your check mark,
Okay.
and then you should be good.
Okay.
Okay. You can also see what it's starting to look like by hiding that background layer. I'm going to do another new layer, and then I'm going to do more of the star. Again, I'm choosing polygonal lasso tool for this star because I need these nice, crisp, straight lines.
I just found my shoe. How do you lock it?
You'll go to on your layers panel, go ahead and go to your layers panel, window to layers. And then see the little padlock on that layer up above, tiny padlock. Yep, bam. Now go to that tiny plus sign on the bottom right, and you're ready to roll.
Okay.
You'll choose one of your selection tools on the upper left-hand side, and you'll toggle between lots of different ones to make the area. Command D deselects, make a new layer, go again. Don't forget we also have our gradient tool as one of the fill options. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, yesterday when I did this, I kind of, I did not do the seams, which I'm going to do today. So the seams and I will be besties.
How would I like fill in like this part so it's
Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is that we're actually going to hold down shift while we use our quick selection because we need to take away, right? So I'm going to go to my minus tool here, hold down shift. So here's what we'll do. We will do that entire, fill that entire, then we'll make a new layer and then just do this one in the second layer.
okay.
So we're going to break that into two.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let me go to like my Photoshop is kind of talking to me a little bit. It's not happy with what I'm doing. I'm going to see what this plaid does when I have black on my foreground color. So again, just a demo, remember we have our fill, we have our even, I can make this into a gradient. Let's say I want to do a rainbow. This is how I can do rainbow, part of my shoe. Don't forget we have all of these different gradients. If I wanted to really customize this shoe, Command D. And then I'm going to go again, new layer, and I'm just going to keep plugging through. We have plenty of time. This is all we have on our radar today. Again, I'm using the magnetic lasso to end where we begin. I'm going to try that pattern. Of the plaid. Oh, and then it went this way. All right. I'm going to come back to this first layer. Now, if I want to come back to a layer and change the color, for example, these colors are really not getting along now. I can come back to that particular layer, and if I hold down Command and click on my thumbnail, that activates the selection area. So Command, click on the thumbnail, activates that selection area, and then I can go ahead and I'm going to choose the red here, and I can paint bucket. Well, I'll probably go to my brush now. I'm going to try a different way. I'm going to go to my brush tool, then increase the size. I think my Photoshop is having a hard time keeping up today. Command D, and then now I will need to go fix the first part of my gradient here. Command click to that top toe. Go to my gradient tool. That's still pretty green. That is too stark. Now, reminder, we know how to edit a gradient simply by clicking in the gradient on the top, and then we can edit a gradient and try it again. All right, that's looking a little better for the customization. I'm going, so I can see what it looks like, I'm going to go ahead and do this back area. So again, go to my selection tools. I have a little thing to fix.
We won't be attending, but
Okay, I think I will make them. Remember, a good tactic is to choose a color from your shoe. Then I'm going to try the option delete, and bam, I have another area. Command D, new layer, keep going.
you can make a new layer every time.
Yeah, I'm going to have about 25 layers. There is a purpose to, we're really practicing. My Photoshop is slowly dying right now.
How do you like get the actual selection box?
You have to end where you begin. So click where you began. Let's see. And you could, let's double click right now. Okay, there we go. That will work. Okay, yes. And then I'm going to do, because I know I'm going to do that option delete, Command D, start again, Command Shift N, new layer. I'm going to clean this selection area up. Uh-huh.
I have not been making layers at a time.
No, okay.
And I've been doing like different like sections, and since I did like a section here and like stopped because it was like hard to keep going.
Yeah.
But now there's like a little like line.
Okay, so now let me see. Let's bring out, let me get your layers panel. Okay, now this line, oh, okay. So we're just gonna go with our paintbrush and fix that. Let's just keep making a new layer from here on out. And then when we're all finished and we get it, we'll come back with that same, we'll color sample that paintbrush and just go over that one. It's not a big deal. You have to start this one over again.
Can't just be choosing things.
That's a good break.
Okay, at this time. Okay, anyone need anything specific? I'm going to pop around. Make sure. And yes, those laces are awesome. And then the grommets will be a circle.
Yeah, I did.
You want to do a bevel and emboss on a silver circle?
I did. I did like varied ingredient.
You can double click there. You can do it. And then candy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that's like a gradient from where you decide your lights coming in. So, and then you'll just want to be consistent. So if you choose a light source, let's say it's coming from here, so your gradient will be light to dark on each grommet, like just making sure so that when they have angle in the gradient, that's so that consistently you can come same way each time because our eyes do different things. Okay, how's it going over here? Good. Yeah, we were just talking about so that grommet, circle, circle, two circles even, different colors. Okay? Okay, let's see. Let's get our picture.
Go where it's
Okay, let's see. What is going on?
It's not working. Never have.
Okay, why don't you pop down to the library, because I think that there's tech help. If there's not, you can come back, okay? Yeah, because I want you to have that for the whole day. You can't be out of it. Okay, how's it
I
going?
like make this smaller so more of the pattern shows it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. So then I believe that if we choose this thumbnail, right? And then we let's do a quick Command T right there. Yes. Okay, now see if that works. Yes. Okay, great. Now, we also, I believe, we can edit that pattern. Like, let's go ahead and commit this before we move on. And then let's go to patterns here. Let's go here to patterns. Let's go to go to your paint bucket again. Now go to pattern up on the top. Oh, did you make a pattern? Oh, okay, sorry. So, okay, you got it. Command T will work. I would say if we made a pattern, we might be able to edit the pattern. But you didn't make a pattern.
Oh, if I do this, the same color as this,
Right, yeah, you'll need to sample. I would sample another color. Okay. Okay, how's it going here? Okay, Sasha, let's see, where are we? Okay,
Confused on like the
here. So let's go ahead and I want you to lock this tennis shoe also. Now make a new layer. You're good. I want you to make a new plus sign. And we're going to put that on top of the tennis shoe. So move this layer one on top of the tennis shoe. No, sorry, keep going. Do it again. So it pops up there. There you go. Now what we're going to do is make a selection area of a shoe, that part of the shoe you want to recolor. Now there's going to be like, I'm only through a quarter of my shoe, and I have like 10 layers. So every little thing is going to be a layer. So you'll want, like, this will be a layer, this will be a layer, this will be a layer, this will be a layer.
Can I do like just this broad, like right here first?
You can do that first, sure. So choose, like I would choose click and hold on the lasso and do magnetic lasso. Okay. So now let's go to layer one. Lock it as the tiny padlock right here. And then go to layer one. Now, same thing. You're going to use one of the selection tools. I would probably start with magnetic. Now, because it's all white and not much pixel differentiation, you're going to have to like click, 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 click to make that. Okay?
Oh, sorry.
And then you'll do a little section each time because, like I said, I have that, all those layers, small sections. Then you can change your color, go to your paint bucket, make that pattern, do the gradient, whatever you want. Okay? All right, yes, that's looking awesome. Does anyone need, I gave up on the Jordan yesterday. I was trying to do the Jordan symbol and do that with many different layers, and I got stuck on how to select. That's the middle, so I'm in awe of you. Really proud of you. Okay, how's it going here? Oh, great. And then we're gonna put some more details. We're gonna details in there as we move along, and I'm gonna show us in a little while how to put a different background on it.
Okay.
And some text. Yes.
How do we put, I didn't see how you put your design.
So did you have a design? I created a pattern. So let's go find a pattern you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and just file open that pattern. I know, yes, you can go to edit toolbar. And then you just drag them over. You see where, like from the extras, bring them to the real toolbar. Oh, it's a heavy color. Okay. Is it transparent?
What color do we want? Yellow.
Can I see the picture that you downloaded? Oh yeah, it probably will. Yeah, let's do a slightly different picture. Okay, I'm gonna pop ahead super fast because some of us are rolling and I'll stop this video soon. But in order, because we do have a transparent on the background, in order to cut out this shoe, I'm going to, I think I can use path of least resistance. So I'm going to do, once I'm all finished with my shoe, I'm going to do object selection. Yes, it does a pretty good job. I'm just going to go to quick selection and then clean up a few. I'm going to subtract because I know I want to subtract this area. And I'm going to subtract this area. Other than that, it looks pretty darn crisp. I think I'm going to clean up with a layer mask the rest. Then I'll go select to inverse because I want to choose everything that is not the shoe. So select to inverse. And I will do this again. Don't worry. I'm just doing it for some who are here. Then I can delete. If my Photoshop was operational, you could hit delete. But since it's not, I'm going to go ahead and do it a little different way. I'm going to pop to my eraser tool. Okay, I'll make it really large. And then I'll erase the background. Okay, now watch what I can do. I can put a background layer. I'm going to roll this to the back, double click and call it background. And then now I can, just so I can see what the shoe looks like, I'll go to my foreground color, gradient, gradient. I'm going to choose something super simple. And then I can see this background. There, I like that more. Or what's this look like? What do we think? You can always hide this layer to see how your shoe is stacking up. And then we can, of course, add some text. I will make this a little smaller. Let's see if I have a graffiti looking font. That's probably, oh, this is pretty cool. And there is my shoe.